My brother-in-law tried to parent my kids. I snapped. I should have known he was going to overstep the second he walked in and said, "Wow, your kids run this house, huh?" That's how Jack greets people. No hi, no how have you been, just straight up judgment disguised as a smirk and a shrug. He thinks he's funny, edgy, real. But what he actually is exhausting. And unfortunately for me, he's also my husband's brother. So yeah, family. Yay. It all started the day after Halloween. The kids were riding that sugar high like it was jet fuel. Sticky fingers, candy wrappers everywhere, shrieking about something they saw on YouTube that I probably shouldn't have let them watch. Classic Wednesday. I was in the kitchen, knee-deep, in dishes and regret, when I heard Jack's voice cut through the chaos like a boot through snow. "Do you let them talk to you like that every day?" I didn't even look up. Just said, "They're 5 and 7, Jack. They talk like tiny pirates. It's a phase." Behind me, he scoffed. I could picture it without even turning around. Arms crossed, one eyebrow up, the "I'm just saying" face. You know what my dad would have done if we talked like that? Oh boy, here we go. The "my dad" speech. Classic Jack. He would have taken the belt off so fast. "Jack," I cut in, turning around finally, sponge still dripping, in my hand. "This isn't the 90s and I'm not raising robots." He smiled, that smile. The one that said, "I know better," even though he's single, childless, and lives in a studio apartment that smells like Axe body spray and expired protein powder. I'm just saying, kids need discipline, boundaries. You're letting them walk all over you. I stared at him for a second, took a breath, tried not to picture myself throwing the sponge at his smug face. "I appreciate the unsolicited advice," I said. "But unless you've pushed 2 humans out of your body and negotiated a ceasefire over a broken Lego set, maybe sit this one out." He raised his hands in mock surrender. Touchy. Yeah, I was. Later that night, I vented to Ryan, my husband, Jack's younger, more emotionally evolved brother, while folding laundry and trying to ignore the faint smell of chocolate puke coming from Olivia's pillowcase. He said I'm soft. Like, what does that even mean? Because I don't scream at them? Because I let them have feelings? Ryan looked up from his laptop, blinking like I'd just pulled him out of another dimension. "What now? Your brother?" I snapped, tossing a Spider-Man shirt into the basket a little too hard. "He thinks I'm failing as a mom." Ryan groaned. God, what did he do now? Tried to lecture me about discipline. Said his dad would have used a belt. Ryan's face twisted, like he'd bitten into a lemon. Our dad was a jerk. I spent all of high school in therapy because of that discipline. Exactly, I said. So why is Jack still worshipping him like he was father of the year? Ryan sighed and rubbed his eyes. Because Jack still thinks being loud and scary is the same thing as being strong. I paused. Well, then I hope he's ready for what strong really looks like. The opportunity came faster than I expected. 2 days later, I had a dental appointment. First one in like 2 years. Yeah, gross, I know. But when you're a mom, teeth come after everything else. Snacks, homework, mysterious rashes, etc. Ryan couldn't get off work, so Jack offered to watch the kids for an hour. "I'll whip them into shape," he said, grinning like he was stepping into a UFC ring. I almost laughed. Instead, I smiled sweetly and said, "Perfect. I'll leave snacks out. And, good luck." When I got back, exactly 63 minutes later, I found him sitting on the floor in the living room, wide-eyed and pale with a wet sock stuck to his shoulder. The room looked like a war zone. Markers on the walls, couch cushions on the floor, popcorn everywhere, and the cherry on top. My daughter Olivia was wearing Jack's hoodie, dragging a wooden spoon like it was a sword, shouting, "Down with the tyrant!" I had to bite my lip to keep from laughing. "Everything okay?" I asked, leaning against the doorframe. Jack looked up like I'd just tossed him a life preserver. "They're feral," he whispered. "Like, 1 minute we were watching Bluey, and then they just turned on me." "Feral, huh?" He nodded slowly, like he'd just survived a natural disaster. "Ethan told me he doesn't believe in bedtime," he said. "And Olivia locked me out of the bathroom. Twice." I crossed my arms. "But I thought you were going to teach them boundaries." His eyes flicked to mine, guilt and defeat swirling together like chocolate milk. I may have raised my voice. "Oh, I bet he did." "And?" I asked, keeping my tone light. "They laughed," he muttered. "Then they started barking." I laughed. I couldn't help it. "They're testing you," I said. "Because you came in hot. Tried to control them without earning their trust." He looked up, blinking. "What, like I'm supposed to negotiate with terrorists?" I sat down next to him, brushing a stray crayon off the rug. "No, you're supposed to show up for them. Let them be messy and loud and still feel safe." He looked around the room, dazed. "Safe? They staged a coup." I chuckled. "And now you know what I deal with every day." That night, Jack stayed for dinner. He didn't offer any parenting tips. Didn't comment when Olivia wiped mashed potatoes on her face or when Ethan tried to convince us he was allergic to green beans. He just listened. And when he left, he paused at the door and said, "You're not soft, Em. You're just not scared of your kids." "That's kind of badass." I smiled. "Thanks." He started down the porch steps, then turned. "But, maybe still teach them not to bite." I grinned. "I'll consider it." A week after the Jack babysitting disaster, things settled, sort of. He hadn't stopped joking about it. Said things like, "Got any wolves you need wrangled?" or "Should I bring a shield next time?" But it was different now. Less smug, more self-aware. The kind of teasing that says, "Yeah, I messed up, but I'm owning it." Still, I couldn't shake like the feeling that something deeper had shifted, not with Jack, with me, because for the first time, I realized that all those little jabs, you're too soft. They walk all over you. This house is chaos. They had gotten to me. Not in the way Jack hoped, but in a way that made me question myself. Was I doing enough? Was I failing? And then something happened that made everything snap into focus. It started with the school call. Olivia had pushed a kid. Not hard. No one was hurt, but it wasn't like her. She's fierce, yeah. Wild imagination, big voice, zero filter, but violent? No. I stood there in the kitchen, phone to my ear, watching Ethan tip his cereal bowl just enough to test gravity while the principal droned on. Apparently, the other kid had told Olivia her hair looked like a bird's nest. She'd said, and I quote, "Birds live in nests. Birds are free. You're a stupid cage." Then she shoved him. I mean, not gonna lie, part of me was impressed, but also, after the call I just stood there, silent, processing, and then I heard Jack behind me. I hadn't even realized he was visiting again. He whistled. Well, guess that apple didn't fall far. I turned slowly. What's that supposed to mean? He raised his hands. Hey, not judging. Just, she's fiery. Like you. I stared at him, searching for the snide twist I was used to, but he was serious and a little confused. Like he didn't know if that was a compliment or a diagnosis. And that's when I decided, enough. No more letting Jack skate by on half-truths and childhood trauma excuses. No more letting anyone treat my parenting like it's a flaw. Sit down, I said. What? You heard me. Couch. Now. He sat. I stood. And I explained. Jack, listen. I know you mean well. I know you think you're helping. But every time you call me soft or hint that I've lost control, what you're really doing is undermining something you don't understand. He opened his mouth. I held up a hand. No. You're gonna hear me this time. He shut it. I took a breath. These kids? They're loud and messy and unpredictable. But they also feel safe enough to express themselves, and that's not nothing. I paced. Couldn't help it. My body needed to move. I'm raising them to be kind, but also fierce. To have big emotions, but also the words to handle them. And yeah, sometimes they push boundaries because that's how kids learn where they are. Jack leaned forward. But shouldn't they know who's in charge? They do, I snapped. They know I'm in charge because I show up. Because I listen. Not because I yell. He flinched. Not a big flinch, but enough. Your dad? I continued. He ruled with fear. You called it discipline, but it was just control. That's not strength, Jack. That's survival. His eyes dropped, and for the first time, he didn't fight back. He just whispered, I hated it. The room got quiet. The kind of quiet where everything hums. Fridge, clock, the weight of unspoken things. I sat next to him. Our knees touched. I'm not trying to be perfect, I said. God knows I'm not, but I'm doing my damn best not to repeat what hurt us. He nodded slowly. I didn't get it before, but I think I'm starting to. Later that evening, he asked if he could talk to the kids. Alone. I said yes. Nervously, I stood by the kitchen doorway, pretending to wipe the counter, listening. Hey, guys, he said, voice a little awkward. I kinda sucked last time, huh? Ethan, you were loud. Olivia, you said no candy and then ate some. Jack, fair, totally fair. He paused. I didn't grow up with a lot of softness, and that made me think being tough was better. But your mom's pretty awesome, and I was wrong. Silence. Then, Olivia, you're not the worst uncle. Ethan, you just need more snacks. I choked on a laugh. That night, Ryan came home and found me curled on the couch, still soaking, in the unexpected peace. He raised an eyebrow. You look smug. I might be. He dropped his bag and sat beside me. What did Jack do now? Listened. Ryan blinked. No way. Swear to God. Apologized to the kids. Said I was awesome. Full transformation. Ryan gave a low whistle. You did teach him a lesson. I smiled. Guess I'm not that soft after all. It's funny, really. People think softness is weakness. That calm means clueless. That a mom who kneels down to talk instead of shouting must be too nice or not in control. But you know what's harder than yelling? Being patient. Being the safe place. Even when you want to scream. Holding space for tiny humans to figure out who they are without making them feel small. That's not weakness. That's power. So the next time someone calls me soft, I'll smile. Because yeah, I am. Soft enough to catch them when they fall. And strong enough to stand my ground when grown men throw tantrums.